Power recap: the Jimenez Cartel answers to a higher power than the feds. Tonight's episode of Power picks up with more revelations. We start with Ghost warning Tommy to be careful about Teresi. Ghost is concerned that Tommy may have already told Teresi something about their business. Tommy assures Ghost that he hasn't said anything, but he also seems to think that Teresi is all good and wouldn't snitch. But Teresi blackmailed Ghost twice, so he knows better, and so do we. Meanwhile, Kanan is listening to this entire conversation and sums up Tommy's new daddy discovery perfectly as, the best thing since getting a new puppy. Pretty much. Tommy can try to be cautious all he wants, but he's probably going to slip up eventually. Angela got all the files she needs for the Ray Ray case, which she bills as the Dirty Cop investigation. Her colleagues think she's really looking into it, but she actually just shut the case down for herself and Tasha's sake. However, we all know that Detective Rodriguez isn't going to let it go, and she's still investigating. In fact, it comes out later on that she is connecting the dots between Ray Ray, Tariq, Ghost, Tasha, Tommy, all of them. She should let it go for her sake, but nah. In other work news for Angela, the feds have closed in on Alicia and Diego Jimenez and are preparing arrest warrants. Speaking of the Jimenez Cartel, Dre's struggling with Alicia and Diego. The latter two are both crazy, but they're having serious problems with each other. Dre informs Alicia that Diego has been spending way too much money at their club and harassing bottle girls who have been quitting. Alicia is over Diego's management style, or lack thereof, and wants to do something about this. She tells Dre that he'll get his instructions soon. That sounds ominous. Next, we find the Italian family celebrating Teresi's release. Of course, people are skeptical since he had a life sentence. But Teresa's saving grace, for now, is that he served 25 years without snitching before, so they're going to give him the benefit of the doubt that whatever deal he cut doesn't involve ratting them out. Meanwhile, Ghost is at another Councilman Tate sanctioned function, without Tasha, who is too depressed to keep up appearances. Ghost is pissed that she's not playing the part for the sake of his project. Tate's gangsta will be revealed one day, though. Anyway, the other problem is that there are rumors floating around that Ghost is causing problems, he's unprofessional, and that a major investor dropped out. Tate tries to keep up appearances that everything is on the up and up, but James messes that up when he abruptly ends a speech he was giving to run into the crowd and get a closer look at a girl that he thought was Raina. He's obviously not well. Councilman Tate is playing himself by forcing a grieving father into this, but he's just as selfish as James. When James gets home, he blames Tasha for all of it since she was supposed to give the speech. It's about time Tasha get it together and stop this fail of a ride or die life. Things get even worse when Councilman Tate asks her. DERE to be the face of the Queen's Child Project, replacing James. Tate seems to think he can force James to be on board with this. Tate declines given he and Ghost's relationship. But hold that thought. Proctor meets up with Ghost to tell him that he came across new paperwork in the Teresi case. At first, things seem to check out, but the new paperwork has John Mack's signature on it, so now he's nervous. Proctor urges Ghost to be careful and that he not do anything illegal, especially with Tommy. Obviously Proctor doesn't want to go to jail his dang self, and obviously, Ghost is still making illegal moves with Tommy due to all the money they both need. Finally, we watched her and Cristobal leaving their meeting with Alicia and Diego Jimenez on an airport hangar just as the feds come rolling in deep. The feds make their arrest, and this is a win for Angela. Mind you, Tommy is off in the shadows watching this go down. Now we are watching Angela and her team back at the office celebrating the Jimenez takedown, and they're preparing to interrogate Alicia, but Steven cuts their party short. Steven is the mysterious guy Angela went out with last week. Apparently, he's with the US government and he tells them that they can't interrogate Alicia. Steven tells Alicia that he'd love to take them down, but he got orders from his superiors to let she and Diego. This is when we find out that Alicia actually wants to get rid of Diego because he's a liability. She tells Steven to keep Diego. Steven tells her she should get rid of him herself. Once this conversation is over, Steven finds his way to Angela, who questions where his authority is coming from and if he had been trying to play her all along. What we know is that he's not CIA and that according to Steven, this is far above Angela's pay grade. He also tells Angela that what he feels for her is real, but he's just doing his job. Think about all the people who have been hurt by folks who were just doing their job. We still have no answers though. How the heck, and why, did the Jimenez get released all willy-nilly? What branch of the government do they have in their pockets? Alicia reunites with Diego and chastises him for being reckless, informs him that she's going back to Mexico and that if he stays behind, he needs to stop the BS with her. Meanwhile, Dre is trying to cool operations until things are a go again and Cristobal is shook. Dre makes a good point. The feds got the big fish, so there's no need to go after them, which would have happened already if the feds really wanted to. Cristobal also makes a good point. They're screwed if Tommy and Ghost find out about this. That's when the light bulb goes off over Dre's head and he asks Cristobal to drop him off somewhere. We know where they're going. Then we cut to the feds investigating Proctor's home, investigating the murder of the Homeland Security agent that Tommy killed, at John Mack's orders. The last place the agent's phone pinged was Proctor's apartment, so even if forensics doesn't find anything, there's still some explaining to do. James walks into his home only to find Tasha, their youngest daughter, and Tasha's mom preparing to leave. Let's be real, James only wants Tasha around at this point because having a wife is good for his image. Tasha is tired of his BS, and he proves her right when he says he doesn't need her after all. Tasha calls him out on being selfish and tells him that he'll be good without her because he'll always have number one, himself. Then we find Ghost walking into a board meeting, and guess who had a change of heart? It's Jer. He took Councilman Ted up on his offer. There's nothing James can do but eat that.